Good morning. Myself, Dr. Geeta Chella. I'm a psychologist. I'm a certified RE and CBT therapist from Albert Ellis Institute, New York. I practice in Sudisha Counseling Center, Kondapur. So basically, I'm into this field since 25 years, almost 25 years. And I'm into training and counseling both. So my I should say my passion, my profession, everything is psychology. And I'm a member of Manojagriti. We are a group of psychologists, and I'm into this field to just help people to help themselves. Namaste. Good morning to all of you. So first of all, I should thank Rajshekhar Garu, Vijay Baba Trust, for giving me this opportunity to be with you all for this few minutes and share my knowledge or my experiences with you for this hour. I make sure that this 1 hour of or 45 minutes of interaction would definitely help you and me, and I look forward to make it very interesting. So today topic I chose as mind, friends and enemies. It looks little strange, but I just wanted to make it very interesting. So before we get into topic or talk about actual issue, let me tell you incident of a woman, so that it really helps us to get into the session. So basically, there was a woman who was director of a National Mental Health Institute in America. So her name was Barbara Lipska, who was a neuroscientist. So she was into the field since 30 years, almost into that profession for 30 years. And basically, in the beginning of her profession, she got, diagnosed with brain cancer. So when she understood that she's into, she has that brain cancer, so she was a little upset, but, she just moved on and she was trying to go forward with medication and other things. But after 30 years, after diagnosis of cancer, brain cancer, almost after 15-20 years, she understood that she had a very serious mental health issue that is called schizophrenia. So then she understood that these many years she had the disorder, mental health disorder, but she didn't understand that she had it. So being a neuroscientist, being a director of an NIMH in America, she could not understand that I have some problem with me. So this was illustrated in a book, a really interesting book by name Neuroscientist Lost Her Mind and how she coped it up. So this tells us, or this made us understand that being aware of our own mental health, being our own physical health, definitely it is important, but being aware of our mental health, మానసిక ఆరోగ్యం గురించి మనకు అవగాహన ఉండడం ఎంత అవసరమో ఈ సిచ్యువేషన్ మనకు చెప్తుంది. And when we see the WHO also, the WHO forecasted, informed us that by 2020 in India, I'm not talking about America, I'm talking about India, Indian population, 20% of Indian population will have one or the other mental health problem. Very serious. 20%, it's not a small percentage. So 20% will have one or the other mental health disorder, and we being the psychologists, we will be only almost touching 4,000 professionals are available, like you and me and some other people. So it's very strange. The gap is so big. So being aware of our mind, being aware of our changes in our behavior, all this is very, very, very important, which some or the other way it has been neglected. And why it is neglected? Because in India we think that our system is very strong. Yes, definitely we have different systems. We have school as a system, family as a system, and we have our spirituality as a system. Yes, I agree. But all these systems in place, it was olden days. But now coming to current situation, I just wanted to put forth that now the situation changed, our environment changed, our relationships changed. Then are we taking care of our mind? That is the focus point of today. Are we taking care of our mind, which is a master, we say. Mind is a master and body is the follower. Whatever we say, the body will listen. The mind says, body listen. But are we taking care of this mind or this mind? This is a question mark. It's a question mark. So let me tell you, we have beauty parlors. We have cosmetics, we have a different body gym places. We know how to take care of our body. We have dietitians, we have doctors. Yes, we have many things to take care of our body. But do we have a beauty parlor for the mind? Do we have somebody who can take care of your jewelry for the mind, cosmetics of your mind? Are we going for all those things? Surely no. And we have diagnostic centers, we have hospitals, we have many things which can take care of our body. But do we have a place where we can go and ask, is my mind fine? Am I fine? It's only some centers, handful of centers in different big cities. So, coming back, mind is a bundle of thoughts. Understanding mind doesn't happen in 1 hour or 45 minutes. It takes years together to understand what is my mind. It's not that easy to understand. But still, mind is a bundle of thoughts. Generally, in our day-to-day language, we say that mind is a software and the body is the hardware, or brain is the hardware. So, being a software, it is very smart, very fast, very dynamic, but there is a danger of corrupting or getting affected by small things also. So we need to be very careful about the mind and understand the mind. So I just wanted to put forth some examples before we actually talk about the dynamics of mind, or our topic, enemies and friends. Who are enemies? Who are friends? See, we see, I see small children, 6 years age child, a mother or a parent comes in and say that 6 years of child, he is having claustrophobia. Claustrophobia, he cannot sit in a closed room. He cannot be inside the room, and he feels suffocated. When the bolt is kept, he feels lot of suffocation. 6 years of old, claustrophobia. And there will be then generally we get we see people, a small child means maybe 6th class, very fine, happy child, active child, good in studies, but she has problem in going to school. She cannot go to school. She has fear of school. Then what? The parents don't understand why she has fear of school, and they will be moving around for years together, and they will understand that something went wrong in the school and something is stuck in the mind. The fear is stuck in the mind of the child about maybe a subject, about a teacher, about someone in the school. And we have adolescent, grown-up children who has problem with behavior. See, being into she teams, I'm a counselor for the she teams where we see a lot of minors below 18 years children getting into all this antisocial work. They tease the girls. They use the internet, or they use the YouTube for different purposes, and they come and end up in the she teams. So when we just try to understand what is going on in their mind, there are so many belief systems they have, so much of emptiness in the mind. They don't know that they are making mistakes sometimes. Yes, this is the truth. They sometimes think that, they believe that it's okay to do, and they do not have control over doing something. Not only this, see, housewives, lot of depression seen in women. Lot of depression seen in women, and they don't know why they are into depression sometimes. After pregnancy, after delivery, postnatal depression, this term doesn't know anybody, like most of us don't know what it is. Arey, delivery, after delivery, I don't know why this lady is into depression, not able to take care of the child. What is happening to her? Yes, there is something wrong with her. It's a depression, postnatal depression, which we don't know. So I just wanted to just put forth these things so that we understand the importance of today's topic. And recently we saw many suicidal cases, suicides, the big companies, CEOs committing suicide. What happened to them? They have enough money, they have enough people, they have enough, identity in the society. Why this suicide? What happened in their mind? What happened to them? Why they could not control themselves? ఏం జరిగింది? వీళ్ళందరిలో ఏం జరుగుతుంది? ఎందుకు ఒక స్టూడెంట్ స్కూల్కి వెళ్ళాలంటే భయపడుతున్నాడు? ఎందుకు ఒక హౌస్ వైఫ్ డిప్రెషన్లో ఉంది? ఎందుకు ఒక పెద్ద CEO కూడా సూసైడ్ చేసుకోవాల్సిన అవసరం వస్తుంది? Why this is happening? Great professionals from good companies, పెద్ద కంపెనీస్ నుంచి వస్తున్న మంచి MNCs లో పనిచేస్తున్న వాళ్ళు కూడా వాళ్ళు ప్రాపర్గా వాళ్ళ యొక్క పర్ఫార్మెన్స్ చేయలేకపోతున్నారు. They are coming. So now, for everything, for all these problems, ivannitiki kuda, one thing we should say that let us learn about mind. Let us learn about the enemies of mind and friends of mind. ఎవరు శత్రువులు, ఎవరు మనకు స్నేహితులు ఎవరు అని చూద్దాం. మీకు ఒక చిన్న ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చెప్తాను నేను. I just want to share one example. You have a big house, staying happily, and very nice garden around, and you have lot of food items inside. You have nice, bed to sleep. Everything is very happy inside the home, and you just wanted. You are there in that house. It's like a dream house, and suddenly someone called you from the next house and told you that, sir, I saw 2 snakes entering into your house. Can you take care of yourself? That's it. One phone call came. And now tell me, can he sleep in the bed? Can he enjoy his food? Can he see the beauty around him? Nothing will happen. He will be anxious about his life. He will be anxious about those 2 snakes which entered the house. He will be searching for them. He will be no sleep across the night. What happened to that? What happened to that man? So this is we call as the house is your mind, and those 2 snakes are negative thoughts, or fear, or anxiety, or something else. So anger. So anything, this negative emotions, negative thoughts, when they enter your mind, you cannot be relaxed. You cannot be happy. You cannot enjoy your life. You may be having many things, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but you cannot live happy life. That is the importance of mind. Today we wanted to talk about. Very interesting, right? So, I think all of us eat popcorn. So popcorn, the seeds you get, yes, popcorn seeds you get, and put it in a bowl and start heating. Once you start heating, and after 5-10 minutes, when the heat is sufficient, the seeds will pop up and you see the popcorn. And as the fire is on, the popcorn will be coming up, coming up, coming up. If you don't want the popcorn to come up, what will you do? As simple as that, you switch off the stove. I'm trying to give you the example because whatever thoughts you are getting, whatever thoughts or emotions we are getting, it is only because of our belief system. The beliefs hidden inside. See, you can see the iceberg, but you can't see the inner part so big. So, the beliefs inside you gives you emotions, gives you thoughts, make you act in some way. See, today I'm sharing my knowledge. I'm here in this life because I believe that this will help me and you also, and people will watch it. It's a good belief I have. If I do not have this belief inside, if at all Rajashekhar calls me, I would have said no, I'm little busy because I don't believe in this. See, this is also belief, that is also belief. So, first I will talk about the enemies, then we will talk about the friends. Be careful, listen properly. These are the beliefs which can make your life or break your life. Let us start. The enemies. Number 1 is, the first belief that enemy inside you is, I should be perfect. This is the first belief which we have in mind, that I should be perfect. I should not make mistake. So what happens with this belief? When we have this belief, we will be into stress. Because we'll be thinking about the end product. How my end product will be. How my project will be. Because my project should be very perfect. And my marks in my competitive exam, my rank in my competitive exam. Yeah. And if it is a housewife, my recipe should be very tasty. People should like it. So, perfectionism or thinking that I should be perfect will put you into stress. Because, see, when the people have this in mind, they want others to be perfect and they themselves want to be perfect. So they use all should statements. They use should statements. See, I should complete in this deadline. You should do this. Our house should be like this. The world should be like this. My office should be like this. So all should statements. Should statement is a lot of expectations that this should be like this. So, number 1 effect of this perfectionism is you are into stress. See, the recent case, I don't want to name it, but the recent incidents which happened where the suicide, the person who's committed suicide is because of this. He wanted to be a perfect. And because when he saw that something is going wrong, he could not take it. And he just give up. See, most of the time, people who are perfectionists, they will stop in between. Because they see that end product is not going fine. And I'm not perfect and what I'm doing is not fine. So I just give up. See, this is giving up is one thing. Stress is other thing. And one more interesting thing. Most of the time we think that, see, I'm lazy. People, we look at people that they are lazy. They procrastinate. They postpone. Ma'am, actually, I want to do one interesting app. I want to, develop an app. Engineers tell me, this IT people, they say, ma'am, I want to prepare an app, but I'm still struggling to see that whether it will be fine or not. How the quality will be. I'm just checking all the measures before I start working. See, He has wasted almost 1.5 years checking himself because he want his app to be perfect. So they just, because of fear, because of insecurity, because of going wrong or not being perfect, they don't work itself. They don't start the work. They procrastinate. They postpone things. And finally, when they start the work, the actual importance of the work is gone already. The market is gone already. So this is what happens to perfectionism. That is a belief inside, I should be perfect, which kills you. Should be very careful. And one more interesting thing, what happens for these people is, I see many trainers nowadays. I congratulate them. I really love them. But they prepare very well, they train very well, and they become trainers, and they think that I know all the skills. But when actually they need to present something on in front of a camera, in front of somebody, they just struck. They cannot perform. And they will be repeating the same skills again. They will be practicing the skills, methodologies. But see, there is a enemy inside you. You should understand, all the lovely trainers. There is an enemy inside you telling you that you should be a perfect presenter. You should not make any mistake in front of the camera. And people will laugh at you if you are not looking nice. It may be your physical appearance, it may be your presentation. So you have this fear that I may do mistakes, I may commit mistake, so people may laugh at me. So my presentation should be good. I should not make any mistake when I am talking. Arey, the nature itself is not perfect. Nature itself is not consistent. You can't see a leaf, a similar leaf like that. No. And water bodies, everything, it's not symmetry. There is no perfection. Always it is changing. But we have this belief, that enemy inside, that I should not make mistake, I should be perfect, wherein you spoil your career. So now the friend for this, like what is your friend for this belief? What is a friend? What is for this enemy? What is a friend you should get into your mind is, people are fallible. People tend to make mistakes. Even including KCR sir, sometimes he will speak in front of the camera. But big speakers also sometimes make mistakes. It's okay. It's nothing wrong in making a mistake. What will happen if I'm now struck somewhere when I'm talking? It's okay. I'm not God, right? I'm just speaking whatever I have in mind. So, people tend to make mistake. I tend to make mistake, and the world can make mistake. World can be fallible. No problem. So this is the first enemy. I should be perfect. I should not make mistakes. Please invite a friend into your mind, the belief that I can make mistakes. Nobody is perfect. Yes, nobody is perfect. Don't worry. That's fine. This is what you need to tell your mind, so that you're not into stress, you're not into procrastination, you're not into stage fear. The biggest fear on this earth today is the stage fear. It is only because of your belief system. Let us understand the belief system, what we have inside. Now, second enemy I am going now. Second enemy is anxiousness or anxiety about future. So basically what we think is anxiety. In anxiety, we think that something will go wrong and strange situation will happen, and the situation may not be in my control. It is, going beyond my control. We start getting anxiety. So this anxiousness puts you into worry. See, what will happen when you are anxious? You will think that something will go wrong, and you will think till the end of your life. Telugulo chinta chita antaru. Chinta chita. So one anxious thought will lead you to end of your life. So దీని వల్ల ఏం జరుగుతుంది? What will happen because of this anxiety or anxiousness, that nothing should go wrong, everything should be all right. See, these anxious people also think that something will go wrong, and they will lose the concentration in the present. They cannot be, I should say that they cannot focus on the work. They are not do their fullest abilities in their work, and they cannot realize their potential when they have the anxiety. And this is also one of the biggest belief, that something will go wrong, something will go wrong. That is what hunts them. That is what hunts them. And always they will be looking like, always they will be insecure. So for this, the friend, later I will tell you when we go to the friends again. And next one is, the third enemy is pessimism. Pessimism and negativistic attitude. I just wanted to share a story, which really I like this story, how the pessimism will be. There were husband and wife. They moved to a new apartment. So it was a nice apartment, and they are in the second floor. And both of them were actually sitting in the balcony every day, having some coffee, tea, everything. So what happened is, when they were sitting in the balcony, she started telling, see, the next house is very untidy. The house is not good. The next lady who stay in the next apartment, next building, is not very tidy. Bagaledame. Valillu bagaledu, ame bagaledu chi. So she was telling, commenting on the next house. Always the house is bad. So every day coffee they were drinking, and every day the wife will say that house is untidy, that house is untidy. Okay, done. So after 2-3 days, what husband did is, husband one day, after 3 days, he says, see, my dear, can you see that house is very tidy? Then she says, and the clothes which are there are very tidy, very neat. Then this lady says, no, my dear husband. Actually, I think she would have bought a washing machine and Euro cleaner for the house. It's not her, big deal. Then husband replied, my dear wife, it is not about the washing machine. It is not about the Euro cleaner. It is about, actually, I cleaned our balcony's window panel, glass panel. The glass panel is not very, it was actually having all dust. So I cleaned it. Wow. Then she understood her attitude, her perception, the way she is looking. See, nothing but this pessimism, what happens is, it's only specks. It's like specks. The specs you wear, the color of your specs, the world will be. ఎలా చూస్తే అలా కనిపిస్తుంది అంటాం, మనం చూసే విధానం అంటాం దీన్నే. సో మనం ఎప్పుడైతే the negative way of looking at is there, the negative thinking starts, and this negative thinking will put you into 2-3 ways. Number one, I am worthless. No, nothing will happen good to me. Everything is bad happening to me. Always negative, and people are not helping me. I will not be succeeded. I will not reach my goal. All these negative thoughts. Negative thoughts. When these negative thoughts are there, and when you believe that this negativity will happen, negative things will happen, automatically you will feel sad, you will feel depressed, and you will not find anything happening good around you, because the way you are looking is that. So this is one more enemy, negative thinking. But maybe the viewers may be getting one thought, you are getting or not, I will answer your this thing. Is negative thinking bad? Is this perfection, looking for perfection is bad? No. They are not bad when they are in limits. Negative thinking is also good to some extent when it is in limits. But when it exceeds the limits, and when it puts you into the disturbance in your life, then that is bad. So when the belief is very strong that you are no, always no for these things, then that is a problem. Otherwise, in limits, everything is fine. Right. And one more enemy, we call it as I should be loved by everybody. People should love me, and people should care for me. People should give a lot of attention to me, and I should be loved by everybody, and people should be always say yes to everything what I say. This is called attention seeking behavior, attention seeking, belief that I should be loved by everybody. See, always, all the time, people may not like you. See, now I'm giving this presentation, somebody may not like it. That's okay. What is happening wrong in it? And somebody may like it. It's okay. Doesn't make any difference for me. It means that is how you should be. See, if you think that all the viewers should give a good comment, all the people, whomever is in my family, should love me, pamper me, show me attention, that is an enemy for your mind, which will put you into a feeling of uncared, neglected, and you feel depressed, you feel low about yourself, you get into low mood, you feel mood off, all these things will happen. So the enemy, the belief which is inside, the enemy is I should be loved by everyone, which is not possible. I should be liked by everybody, which is not possible. You may not be loved by people, all. You may not be liked by all. You may not be good to everybody. So actually I see many people, they'll be struggling a lot to be good to people. And they want to show that I am good for everybody. Everybody should like me as a person. So they struggle a lot and they sacrifice many things for that. They don't really enjoy their life because they want to be good. They sacrifice, basically, moms. They do everything because they want to be a good mother. So they become selfless. And, many people for that matter, many, the company heads, NGOs, they want to be very good. See, it is not important to be very good to everybody. You need not be loved by anybody. You need not be liked by everybody. That's not required. Please understand that this enemy will actually, make you become very, 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 too much of selflessness, too much of self-care. The self-care is lost. You don't love yourself because you want to love others. You don't give time for yourself because you want to give time for others. That is not a good belief. So this is one more enemy. People will actually sacrifice their interest and their, happiness and end up their middles. That is, middle age, I say. When the middle age comes, they are into depression and they will say, Nenu anni sacrifice chesesanu. I sacrificed everything for my man. Arey, who asked you to do it? Why you have done it? So, let us give some time for us and then we help others. First, take care of yourself, love yourself, enjoy with you, pamper yourself, and then you can go. So, this is attention-seeking behavior. Okay? Then, and one more interesting enemy, the last enemy which I am talking today is, I am good for nothing. I am good for nothing. I am the waste fellow. I am the worst fellow. I am a failure. Nobody will like me. I am always inferior. So this is called getting into that low self-esteem, rating yourself very down. So what will happen to these people who think that I am good for nothing, who think that I am not a fit person? These people, they do not rate, they do not, give the value to themselves. And always these people will be into two things. Number one, they always compare with others. They always compare with others and think that I am not good for nothing. See, my friend's handwriting is very good, so I am good for nothing. And my friend is actually very good on the dais. He can speak so nicely and I have some problem in speaking, so I am good for nothing. And that person, that Facebook, nowadays it is very interesting, no? How many likes you get, how many people liked your page. And if my page is not liked, I am gone. So this is what is the low self-esteem puts you into comparing with others and competing with others. You want to always compete with others. So for this very interesting statement my guru gave, he says that do not compare and compete with anybody. Never compare and compete with anybody. Compare and compete with yourself, beta. You compare and compete with yourself. That's a good way. But maybe you may be asking like, if we don't compete, nowadays it is a competitive world. We need to compete with others. Yes, I agree. See, when the comparison, when the competitive nature is healthy, when it is a motivating factor for you, when it is helping you to really, become very energetic, enthusiastic, you please have it. But it should be a healthy comparison, healthy competition. Not that I should be the first one. I should be one among the first, one among the top 10, or I should be the one among the top. For this, I actually recently, it's an old thing, but I just I'm trying to tell you because very interesting. Again, I post. There was an anthropologist, anthropological scientist, who actually wanted to understand the behavior of people, how the people will behave. So he went and gave put a basket full of mangoes under a tree, and he asked the children, 25 children, 20 to 25 children were there. So they were actually there and standing very far, few meters far, and this basket full of mangoes are there. Then this scientist asked, now children, I will count 3, 2, 1. So you people should start running, go and take it, try to catch or take the mango. So whoever go first, all the mangoes will be yours. So the person who go first and catch one mango, the full basket is yours and nobody will take mangoes. So then this anthropologist was very trying to understand how the psychology, how they will have the competition. So these children are standing there and suddenly he will say, not suddenly, maybe give time and say 3, 2, 1, kids start. And he expect that these kids will run. And they will, somebody will fall, somebody will run, somebody will go first. But surprisingly what happened, all the children were not moving. They were standing there actually, and they are standing trying to catch each one hands. They were trying to catch the hand. All of them made a human chain. All of them, catch each one. And once when everybody hold their hands, then they started going towards the tree, and all of them, once they reached the basket, and all of them distributed the mangoes and nicely eating there. This anthropologist was so amazed to see that. And he went and asked, "Arey kids, I expected you to run and take. What is this you have done?" Then they say, "Sir, Unduka, I think, Unduka." He says that there is no I without we, sir. If we are there, I am there, sir. So we wanted to take it all together. So this is what is, trying to be together, no competition, no comparison. Okay. So now I just repeat my enemies. Number 1 was perfectionism. I should not make mistakes. I should be perfect. The second enemy is anxiousness. Something will go wrong. And the third one is pessimism, that nothing will happen good, everything will go wrong, and people, I cannot succeed, the exam will be a failure, I will not be able to write my exam. Pessimism in everything. And then attention seeking behavior, wherein you have a belief that the enemy is I should be loved by everybody, I should be cared by everybody. And finally, the last one which I was talking about is I am good for nothing, comparing with others. And then actually this is not in my list, but let me tell you one more thing, because the youngsters may be watching, I think. So one more thing is impulsiveness is one more enemy here. Impulsiveness. This impulsiveness is actually the belief that I cannot wait for anything. I cannot wait for anything. If I want, I should get it. If this behavior is, this belief is there, they will be very impulsive. They will be like get into antisocial behavior also. Because if they have a desire, they should satisfy, and the resources are not enough. అనుకున్నంత రిసోర్సెస్ లేవు, అప్పుడు వాళ్ళు దొంగతనమైనా చేస్తారు, ఏమైనా చేస్తారు. సో దిస్ ఇంపల్సివ్నెస్, I should get what I want, this will actually lead to antisocial behavior, pleasure seeking behavior, attractions, addictions, and all this, crime related things will happen. So better we understand these enemies, these snakes. Don't allow these snakes to enter your mind, so your mind will be fine. So now I actually tried explaining you about the enemies. And what about friends? Do we need some friends? Yes, we need to have some friends. So I have a few friends with me, which definitely will help you. I just want to give you an example of a birthday party. See, when you have birthday of your loved ones, and you really like the person whose birthday is there, and you are celebrating that birthday, then what happens? See, when you are actually preparing something, and you are trying to decorate the house, you put your all attention to it. Nice flower decoration you do, nice balloon decoration you do, so completely your mind is put into it. And you are very relaxed, your mind is relaxed, you are very happy, you are very excited, you are very curious about the people coming into a party, and you have a lot of positive thinking, है ना? So people will come, I will enjoy, they will get the gifts, I enjoy the party. So you have all nice positive thinking comes in, and then actually that day you will be very creative, because you want to set the house properly, you want to keep the furniture properly, you want to do something for your door. See what is happening here? These are all the friends. So being mindful is a friend. So you invite 4 friends into your mind. I have 4 friends for you. Number 1 is being mindful. Being mindful is nothing but being in present, paying attention to the people around, paying attention to the things around, and being non-judgmental. You are not judging anybody. You are not judging it, but you are watching it. And being mindful is like this. See, I have this glass of water, and being mindful is, I just look at the glass, I come into presence, I just watch this glass, the transparency of the glass, the beauty of the glass, and the water inside, and I see how chilled it is, and how this water is tasting. Yes, this is what is mindful. Put your all senses into one place. That is what is mindfulness. And being in present. Don't go into past. Don't go into future. Better you stay in the present and enjoy with all your senses. See, if you are eating, enjoy the eating. Food. If you are playing, enjoy the playing. If you are talking to someone, please talk. Enjoy the talking. See, if I'm here today, I'm watching myself, I'm watching the, the thumbs you are sending for me, the flowers you are sending for me, the nice comments you are giving me. So this is what I'm here completely with you people. This is mindfulness. I'm not thinking how my presentation is going, how many viewers are there, how many will watch, nothing else. Complete mindfulness on the present. That really help you. To be in the present, mindfulness, no enemies will enter you. When you are mindful, no enemies will enter you, right? So for mindfulness, there are different techniques. We can actually have a complete session on them. But maybe for the viewers, I just wanted to tell you 2-3 small techniques for mindfulness. Number one technique, we call it as, for mindfulness, mindful eating. We call it as mindful eating. That is, whatever you eat mindfully, eat with all your senses is the number one. And number two technique, we call it as watch from window. Watch from window, it means if you are sitting in one place, you have some view outside, you watch outside and see what are the different colors I am watching, what are the different shapes I am watching, what are the different patterns I am looking at. So this is what is like, watch mindfully, watch, observe with complete attention. That will help you. And there are many other techniques. We call them as body scanning. Then you can do collage baking and color pasting. There are wonderful activities for mindfulness. So you can practice mindfulness to be happy in the present, not thinking about future, about future. Okay, right. And the second interesting my friend is being relaxed. When you are relaxed, your mind cannot get into the other state of mind. Here I wanted to tell you something about the nature of mind. See, there are very strong characteristics of mind, and there are some weak points in the mind. You need to understand. See, number one is the interesting characteristic of your mind is the mind can stay in only one state of mind. Only one state of mind. That is, if I am angry, I can be in the angry state only. But I cannot become in the same time, I cannot be angry, I cannot be peaceful, I cannot be sad, and I cannot be happy in the same time. అంటే బాధలో ఉన్నప్పుడు మీరు సంతోషంగా ఉండలేరు, కోపంతో ఉన్నప్పుడు శాంతంగా ఉండలేరు, ఆతృతతో ఉన్నప్పుడు ప్రశాంతంగా ఉండలేరు. సో దిస్ ఇస్ వాట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ మీ మైండ్ ఆర్ మన మైండ్ ఒకే స్టేట్లో ఉంటుంది. దీన్ని మనము ఎన్కాష్ చేసుకోవాలి, దీన్ని మనం వాడుకోవాలి. అంటే యూ నీడ్ టు బీ రిలాక్స్డ్, బీ కామ్, ట్రై టు బీ పీస్ఫుల్ సో దట్ ద ఎనిమీస్ విల్ నాట్ గెట్ ఇన్ టు యువర్ మైండ్. చాలామంది మా క్లినిక్ వచ్చి అడుగుతూ ఉంటారు, మేడం మేము అంటే ఈ ఆతృత తగ్గాలంటే ఏం చేయాలి, ఆతృత తగ్గాలంటే ఏం చేయాలి. దే విల్ బి టాకింగ్ అబౌట్ దట్ యాంగ్జైటీ ఓన్లీ. సో సింప్లీ వీ పుట్ దెమ్ ఇన్ టు రిలాక్సేషన్ రూమ్. వీ హ్యావ్ ఎ రూమ్ బై నేమ్ సాధన అంటాం మేము దాన్ని. సాధన అని ఒక రూమ్ ఉంటుంది మా దగ్గర. ఆ సాధన రూమ్లోకి పంపిస్తాం. సాధన రూమ్ ఈజ్ మెంట్ ఫర్ రిలాక్సేషన్. ఒక చక్కటి మ్యూజిక్, కామ్ మ్యూజిక్, ఒక సెంటెడ్ క్యాండిల్, ఒక మంచి చాలా బ్యూటిఫుల్ పిక్చర్స్, వాటర్ ఫాల్స్, ఓకే, నైస్ ఒక గడ్డి అంటారు కదండి, గ్రాస్ ఫ్లోర్, వుడెన్ ప్లేస్. సో ఇవన్నిటితో పాటు జస్ట్ లెట్ దెమ్ రిలాక్స్ ఫర్ సమ్ టైమ్. నౌ టెల్ మీ, యాంగ్జైటీ ఉంటుందా మైండ్లో? ఆటోమేటిక్గా పారిపోతుంది. సో for this relaxation, we have two things you need to understand. Number one is relax your mind. Number two is relax your body. Relax your mind, relax your body. For relaxing body, we have different techniques like muscle relaxation, complete head to toe relaxation, Jacobson's progressive muscle relaxation, power breathing, body scanning. All these things will completely relax your body. And for mind, we have beautiful techniques like guided imagery, visual relaxation, music therapy, art therapy, color therapy, dance therapy, music therapy, movement therapy we call. So there are different therapies which can put your mind relaxed. సో దీంట్లో ముఖ్యంగా అంటే దానిలోకి వెళ్ళకపోయినా రిలాక్స్డ్గా ఉండడానికి మీకు ఆర్ట్ థెరపీలో మండల ఆర్ట్ అనేది ఉంటుంది. దెర్ ఇస్ అ ఆర్ట్ బై నేమ్ మండల విచ్ ఇస్ అ కలర్ కాంబినేషన్ అండ్ ప్యాటర్న్స్ మేకింగ్. సో దట్ విల్ రియల్లీ హెల్ప్ యూ టు రిలాక్స్. Being into art, this mandala also helps you be relaxed in your mind. And next friend is positive thinking. That is positivity in your mind. For being positive, you need not worry about your negative thinking. You need not worry about your negativity in your mind. Just do one thing. Start focusing on the positive in your mind, in your life. See, we call it as break the tunnel vision. When you put like this, you can make a tunnel. You can make a tunnel like this. And when you see from the tunnel, you can see a small spot, a small place, dark place or whatever place. But when you remove this, you can see everything. So negative thinking is that. See, when you are into negative thinking, you have this tunnel vision. You can only think about it. You can only see the bad part of your life. So break the tunnel vision. You will see everything fine in your life. There are so many things good in life, happening good in your life. Okay? For this, there is a powerful technique. We call it as positive thought journal. Positive thought journal is a technique where every day you write 10 positive thoughts or 10 positive things happened in your life. Please have a diary and put the date and write 10 positive thoughts every day. That will train your mind or brain to become very positive. That helps a lot in your life. And just learn to be a gatekeeper to your mind. You should be gatekeeper to your mind. See, you have watchmen for your apartment and a very strong watchman standing there. Do you think the waste people or the thief or someone who is not expected to get into the apartment will get in? No, he will ask, what is your name, what is your place you are coming, what is the purpose of coming, stop there. This watchman will stop. He will not allow people to get into. So when you are a gatekeeper, when you are a watchman to your mind, gatekeeper to your mind, automatically you will stop the unwanted thoughts, negative thoughts, destructive thoughts, useless thoughts, and you only allow the positive thought, constructive thoughts, useful thoughts or your interesting thoughts. So be a gatekeeper and just hold your ear and understand the spelling EAR. Very interesting technique. This will help you a lot. EAR. E is examine your thoughts. E is examine your thoughts. A, accept the thoughts which are positive, helpful, and reframe the thoughts which are negative. There is no rejection. Please understand. People think R is rejection. No, R is not rejection. You cannot reject a thought. Negative thought will not stop. If you say, no, please don't come into mind, it will not stop. It will come again. If you want to resist, it will persist. If you want to stop, it will come again. So never stop. Don't try to stop negative thoughts. You reframe them. Reframe them with logic. Reframe them with some reason. I may not pass in my exam. I may not pass in my exam is a negative thought. So you can reframe when it is coming, I will not pass in my exam. I may not pass in my exam. So reframe that. I will work hard and be successful in my exam. That is a affirmation for the negative thought. So use affirmations every day. Affirmation is a positive statement for a negative statement. Just turning the negativity into positivity. As simple as that. So these affirmations will help you to be positive. That is one of your friend. And last friend is, we are almost approaching the time. So creativity is one more friend. Creativity actually helps to use all your brain. See, you have right brain and left brain. So generally we use only left brain. Most of the time we are logical people, right? Logical people, we look for logic, we look for numbers, we look for languages. Everything is, left brain. The day-to-day work, what we are doing is all with left brain only. We are not using the right brain. Complete right side is wasted. So right brain activation happens when you are creative, when you do something creative. And generally people have an assumption that creativity is means only drawing, painting. No. Drawing and painting is not only creativity, it comes into activity, but being creative can be doing something different, thinking something different, arranging something different, talking a different language, learning a different language. Everybody, if you are combing with this hand, you comb with this hand. Simple things you do to become creative. Activate the right brain. When you activate the right brain, your creativity will increase. When your creativity will increase, automatically your mind is completely used and completely positive and productive. Right? So, I actually tried sharing something about the friends, enemies, and the nature of mind today in this given short time. So, to conclude, I just wanted to give you one example of egg, potato, coffee powder. My favorite interesting maybe saying. Have boiling water and put a potato and put an egg into it and put some coffee powder into it and just try to leave it for 5 minutes. And after 5 minutes you see what is there. Egg which was soft, liquid becomes strong. Egg which was, liquid becomes strong with that boiling water. And the potato which was very strong will become soft. And the coffee powder mix into the water and it will completely change its original powder shape. So, this applies to all of us. What you want to be, how your mind want to be. Being strong is like egg. Whatever the situation come, hardship come, challenges come into your life, be strong like a egg. Become strong. When the hardship come, become strong. And don't be like a potato. Potato is like immediately getting hurt, immediately feeling bad, immediately going down in your self-esteem and depressed. Okay? So, and coffee powder is just getting into the situation and accepting the situation and just moving along. See, sometimes the situation is not in our hands. The problems are really critical. That's where you need to just go with the problem, live with the problem and accept the problem that it is a problem in my life. Let me bear with it. So, be an egg, not a potato, and just accept the things in your life and follow or keep these enemies and friends in your mind, understand them, be aware of your mind, keep this awareness of EAR and manage your mind. You cannot control your mind, it's very tough, but manage your mind, be happy, be healthy. There is no health without mental health. So let all of us be healthy, be happy in life. I thank again Rajshekhar Reddy Garu for giving me this opportunity, for being a part of that this Vijay Bhavati series of topics. Thank you so much, and thank you all of you who are watching it and will be watching it. Namaste. I am Dr. Geeta Challa, psychologist and therapist working in Sudisha Counseling Center, Kondapur. Thank you all. Namaste.